Skillet Sports presents...
You're listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
You know what it is. You know who it is. It's The Sizzle here in the building. We are the hottest talk in the building. We are the hottest talk in the 219. I'm G Sizzle. He's J Sizzle. And we are about to get into some hotness. But before we can do that, I've got to ask you, Jay, how you doing today?
Did the Bulls just pick somebody who don't start on their own team in college?
Well, yeah. It's a lot to get into. Are you ready?
I don't think so, man, but let's go.
Hey, man, this is going to be a power-packed hour of all power, all talk, all ridiculousness. So let's get into it. You know what? We're going to listen to this young man, and we're going to give you the particulars. And if you haven't heard, if you've been under a rock, if you've been caught in a calaboose, which is a funk prison. Yeah, baby.
I was in a calaboose yesterday.
Really?
Oh, you said calaboose. Oh, I thought you said something else. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Well, let's get ready to go.
Wow, bro. That's crazy. That's so love, bro.
In NBA, it's all about roles. You know, everybody can't be a LeBron James from the day one or Michael Jordan from the day one. You got to kind of embrace your role and then do your role well, and then you're trusted with more. They kind of leaning on me to be what I am, which is, versatile. I'm coming in to contribute any way I can, whether that's, starting and playing big minutes, or whether that's coming off the bench and, provide the spark, or whether that's handing out Gatorade. You know what I mean? I'm just there to contribute.
All right, so we've got a Gatorade distributor that's coming to the Bulls.
G-Sizzle.
Yeah.
Do you want your number one pick, number 4 overall, to come in and talk about he's contributing? I didn't see all the great ones come in and start talking like that. Kobe Bryant came in and said he was coming in right off the cracker, getting it popping. He wanted to lead him to a championship. We had Michael Jordan come in. He wasn't all smiling happy. He was coming in. I'm getting ready to do what we got to do. I don't want a guy who all he's going to do is try to contribute. I want you to come in and take over, because this is what this Bulls team need, is somebody to come in and take over.
Yeah, this is it. This. All right, there's so many layers here that we've got to really go through it piece by piece, because I can't even start to tell you what the reaction was like. And for those of you who weren't watching, or you haven't joined us in the Messenger group, boy, it was hot in the chat last night.
I had to pull over. G Sizzle. I'm driving home. I hear the pick. My car starts shaking. I thought a tire was about to fall out. I pull over. I jump in the chat. And next thing I know, I'm like, what? First thing, I knew this guy was like somewhere around 8 or 9 or 10 he was ranked. I didn't even think twice about him, because the Bulls don't have a chance to get this guy. And all of a sudden I look up and I'm hearing over the radio, and I'm looking up here and I'm like, Patrick who?
Right.
What? Incredible.
He wasn't even the best known player on that squad.
Yeah.
That was Devin Vassell.
Yeah.
And you're looking at forwards, and we've talked about this off camera a lot of times. And Mike Maxita, this one's for you, Maxita. I am not a subscriber, nor am I a part of the Wendell Carter fan club.
Yeah.
So when you tell me that you're going to move Wendell Carter for maybe a package that will give you one of the preemptive players of the draft, I'm all with it. I mean, I'm good with that. But this whole litany of 6'8", anywhere from 6'6" to 6'8", forwards / combo swings, you're really 6'6", but 6'8" in good shoes. This whole thing is repetitive. And this feels like a pick that the Bulls could have made with the 7th or 8th pick. This feels like you're right there again.
G-Sizzle. All right. They could have traded with Detroit, right?
Okay.
Possibly got Derrick Rose back. for Satoransky, possibly got Derrick Rose back, and still was able to pick this guy. If not this guy, then you had Halliburton there. You had a number of people there that were still going to be able that you were able to get. I don't understand why take a shot at this guy. You passed on Obi Toppin. Why take a shot on this guy when you could have really helped your coffers out? Bring Derrick Rose back and then go get Halliburton or get one of these other guys like this. Now the Bulls look like a better ball club. You know what this really sounds like? This sounds like back in 1987 when they went back there and Jerry Krause was talking about Scottie Pippen. And when they drafted Scottie Pippen, I think it was 5th or 6th they drafted him overall. Mm-hmm. When they drafted Scottie Pippen, everybody said, who? Mm-hmm. Who was that? And right. I think they're trying to go back and reconstitute that again. But what they fail to realize is that you had Michael Jordan on the team where you had a guy who was coming in and talking about contributing and passing out Gatorade. Now you got a kid who just turned 19 in August. Is he going to come in and lead your franchise? Because here we are back in the same boat that we were in before. You have a team without a leader. You don't have a leader. And that's what Derrick Rose would have done for you. At least brought you some veteran presence other than Satoransky and other Otto Porter that these kids would actually listen to and possibly fulfill that point guard position because you still don't have a point guard. You still don't have a point guard. Where's this guy going to play? Is he playing the 3? Is that where he's playing?
Well, the funny part is he's supposed to be a utility player in this new world of positionless basketball. Yeah, so they're touting him as being able to guard from the 1 to the 5, that he can do all of it. He can even bring the ball up the court. If he gets the ball, like when he was at Florida State, you get the ball, you bring it up the court, so you initiate the offense, and it's a lot of hooey. It's a lot of hooey. And let me say this. We talked about it off camera. When you talk about this being, and I don't know what Arturas Karnisovas is doing and Mark Eversley. I don't know their plan and their role. We've been asked to trust the process. But here's the thing. If you're trying to build a contender, you need assets. You need more good bodies. You need better players. The Bears are a bad team because they have no assets. The Bulls are terrible now because they have no assets. You still have, you know what? It's funny. It was mentioned last night.
Yeah.
That you expect the Bears to be better and nothing changed about the Bears. It's the same thing you're saying with the Bulls. You're going to expect for them to come in a truncated season where these guys are getting ready to start up camp.
Right now to get ready to go.
In 2 weeks, they're going to start camp. Yeah. And then in another 2 weeks, they're going to be playing games.
Real basketball
games. You expect for a project 19-year-old, he just turned 19 in in August.
Yeah.
You expect for him to come in and contribute what? Because you still have the same team. You still got Kobe White at point now. You've got you've got the same squad.
This is Dionne Waiters all over again. This guy is on complete potential. Long arms, can play up and down the court. But look, there's a reason why. And I know they would say it down in Florida State, the head coach down there doesn't want to play freshmen like that. He plays 10 people, 11 people in rotation. However, if you are a number 4 pick, you should be starting. I don't care if you're an 8th grader who passes ACTs and SATs and got into college. If you're picked number 4, you should be starting on your basketball team. How does a 6th man of the year become the number 4 pick? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. They think this guy's going to be Scottie Pippen. Really? Is this what we think?
Which is fine. If he is Scottie Pippen, that's fine. But you're talking about equity and you're talking about being shrewd brokers. Again, and I have to bring up this parallel with the Bulls and the Bears because you're always talking about parity and you're talking about equity. So at this point, when you know you need other players, we'll talk about it later, but we won't even discuss right now what they did with the 44th pick.
Oh, my God. Oh.
In some recesses of the back of their brain, you're able to draft and stash. but a team ahead of you that had been a multiple time contender went and got the same position you need. So let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's keep going.
Can we move forward with this? Because I don't
know. Well, we can talk about a forward. We can talk about a 6'8", 225-pound native of Charlotte, North Carolina. He is your new rookie. He is the man. He is Patrick Williams. He is going to be your super utility guy that you probably could have gone down for. Now, I wasn't a big Denny Avdija fan, so not really concerned about it. I think he's going to get stuck up in the league. That's just me.
But at least
he probably,
yeah, at least
he'll start. He's more of a younger version of Danilo Gallinari.
We should hope.
Yeah, we hope, but that's going to take some years. It's going to take time. In fact, maybe there's the problem. Maybe let's focus and frame it into this. Let's say this. This draft was so bad that you had to reach at the top 10 to get a potential player, while the meat of this draft was at the bottom half. In fact, if you want to start looking back from pick 10 down to pick 20, good players in there.
Yeah, but see, those same good players were available at 4. My whole thing about it is you're picking potential at that. But right now, so the route I think the Bulls are going right now is that, hey, we're not looking to win next year. We're looking to rebuild. We might be in a 3 or 4 year building process. This is what we look at right now. But we still don't have Michael Jordan to turn this guy into Scottie Pippen. Now, so have we already figured out? Now, I know we're going to talk about roster stuff later on, but are we looking at this in a Bull situation that we're going to be in a worse position than what we were in last year? Because at this point in time now, is Williams an upgrade for the Chicago Bulls? Is he going to come in and give you 15, 18, 20 points a night? Is he going to be that guy for you? Because your number 4 pick needs to be that guy that's going to give you 20 points. You don't have to be a triple-double every night, but he doggone needs to be averaging a double-double for you. He's got to be doing assists. He's got to be doing something to make this 4th round pick, because we don't want to be back here picking 4th round again. No, we were picking 4th pick. We don't want to be picking 7th and 8th like we have been doing for the last 3 years. We don't, but we definitely don't want to be picking 4th, because that means we were trash. You know what I'm saying? We want to be picking late in the 1st round. We want to be picking 15 on down, like the really good teams do, who have to go and dig people out and fit them into a system. So this was your home run pick right here. This was your Derrick Rose. This was your Scottie Pippen pick. This was your home run pick right here. And I don't know. I think they swung for the fences, and I hope they didn't miss.
Well, it was a great swing for the fences. It was something that if you were a team, let's say you were a team who was at that mid-level, you're San Antonio, you're one of those teams where this kind of project young man can come in, help you down the road, and make you into something. This is not that. This is not that. This is a roster that I think they're getting ready to look to see if any of these players are going to be here past 2021. You've got contracts coming all off the board. I don't even know how you repair the bridge, and maybe someone will say that the bridge was never broken with Wendell Carter. Because once you float a player's name out there, we saw what effect it had on Luol Deng when he was floated out there for Kobe Bryant. It took him a year to get over that, and he never really got his footing back because he always felt betrayed, a little sensitive. And let me say, this was the most crying draft I have ever seen in all the days of my life.
They was on Baba Who. But back to your Luol Deng point. But Luol Deng was Luol Deng.
Right.
That could go in it. You could talk about him in the same sentence as being moved for Kobe Bryant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was used and abused here, misused and abused.
Yes,
they rode him and put him away wet many a night. And then at the end, he was a shell of himself at the end of his playing career. But the Bulls just abused him. But we're not talking about, is this guy going to be Luol Deng? I'll take Luol Deng if he's going to be Luol Deng. My thing about that, this 4th pick, you had guys up here. You had guys who had bigger names, bigger cachets, What that Killian Hayes? I'd rather they took Killian Hayes at this pick.
Yeah.
He had more
Well,
upside.
I was a big Halliburton fan. Because
Tyrese
Halliburton really met what you didn't need Patrick Okoro, you didn't need Okongwu, you didn't need Obi Toppin, really.
No,
because you've already got a log jam at that forward center position.
But the thing about it, if you got Obi Toppin, I would have understood.
I do.
You know, I would have understood. He gives you another big that can run the floor. Now you're sort of playing this ain't nobody got a position type of player out here, but who can bang and get on the boards for you, and who can get him. Now, was he going to be able to play bully ball in the league like he had been doing in Dayton, and especially in the conference that Dayton was playing in? I don't know. Now you're playing with the big boys. Everybody's strong as you. So I don't know. And was he an exceptional jumper? No. He's a very good jumper, but not exceptional. That's something I say like, oh my God, look at this guy flying out the gym. He wasn't that guy. So you're going to meet a lot of guys like you in the NBA. But I understood Obi Toppin because he's ready to play in the NBA right now. You got a guy in here who's a project. So does he start for the Bulls? Question. Does he start for the Bulls?
And the answer would be no.
No, he does not.
He cannot. At this point, you cannot because you've got Otto Porter Jr. sitting right there. Now, is he going to have to start? Because I doubt Otto Porter Jr. will make it through a season. Yes. Yeah. At some point, probably by week 2 or week 4, he will be starting. But is this project young man, this man-child, is he what you really want? This is weird. It kind of reminds me of the Tyrese Thomas pick. You know, you're going off potential athleticism, what you project him to be. The problem with that pick was you traded LaMarcus Aldridge for Tyrese Thomas. That's enough said.
Yeah.
One who's still in the league and one who hasn't been in the league since the Jackson 5s had a hit.
Wow. I want you back. I want you back. Pick number 4. I want you back.
Yes.
Detroit, do you want pick number 4? Because I'll take Derrick Rose. I want him back.
Look, man, I'm just telling you, everybody knows it. Okay, I'm a little partial to D Rose. All right. Yeah. Even though I've had my issues with D Rose. And you know, there's some mental things. You're just like, D, stop being silly. But now you're talking about a bona fide leader at the point. One who can lead the whole team. The only person I believe that you could get a Zach LaVine to acquiesce to.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. And here's the other side. You get a veteran D Rose now who's slowed his game now, who still can explode. Let's ask a question. Would you rather have D Rose or would you rather have Patrick Williams?
You so funny.
Wow, bro.
That's so funny. I don't even know who Patrick Williams is. And so I think you were the one in the chat who was like, who? And I was like, yeah.
Because I wasn't looking at him. Because I know the Bulls had this 4 pick and they had a pick out in oblivion. That player's never going to get to the league. And all of a sudden, so I wasn't looking past 8 or 9 to tell you the honest truth, because after that, it's a crapshoot. But I'm like going, who? I mean, a name I hadn't heard before? And y'all go, really?
I heard his name, but again, you had Devin Vassell, who was
better?
The scorer, the better one, the starter, who you saw what he was able to do. Now, you can say, well, maybe that was his ceiling. But look, man, after Devin Vassell, let's talk about some of these cats that went just up to number 15.
Yeah.
At let's go to your man. Let's go to Obi Toppin with number 8 to the Knicks. Denny Avdija went to the Generals, which are called the Washington Bullets, which are whatever they are.
The Generals. They used to lose to the Harlem Globetrotters all the time, right?
All the time. They did. They made it a yearly event.
But where did they get those guys from? Hey, did those guys actually travel with them, or did they actually pick up players?
No, they traveled. They're a traveling team, but you can pick up and be on the squad. You're good enough. You can get a tour pass.
Did they win one game? I think they won one, right?
I think they did. Maybe one.
I think they won one. I haven't looked that up. I think they won one.
So then you've got Jalen Smith going to the Suns. You've got Devin Vassell going to the Spurs. Tyrese Halliburton going to the Kings. Kiera Lewis going to New Orleans. Aaron Naismith going to Boston. And Cole Anthony going to the Magic.
Yeah, no, and Cole fell a long way, man. Cole fell a long way. But Cole Anthony is going to ball out in the NBA. Rest assured about that.
Yeah, it's not college anymore.
You can rest assured they're gonna cut Cole Anthony loose. And the only reason why he felt like he did now, he should have been the number 1 pick. But what he fell this year was because he had that knee injury. Everybody got a little antsy about him. But Cole Anthony can do one thing and one thing only. He can score. This guy is nasty, got the nasty handle. And what a great pick. What a great pick down there. Could we have went Cole Anthony at 4? I would still probably been screaming a little bit, but I wouldn't have been screaming as much.
Dude, you could have made a trade. Detroit came back into the first round. Detroit at number 19 picked Saddiq Bey. And for all of you who don't know who Saddiq Bey is Patrick Williams.
Without doubt.
A better shooter.
A better shooter. Because that's one thing that everybody talk about, Patrick. Oh, he's going to work on his shooting. Really? The number 4 pick? The number 4
pick has to work on his shooting. But you got Saddiq Bey, you got Precious Achiuwa, Tyrese Maxey. They went 19, 20, 21. You can come down. RJ Hampton went 24.
What's wrong with RJ? Here's my whole thing. RJ Hampton slid down the board. Yeah, he slid down the board. But RJ Hampton is going to ball out.
Yep.
Because these little small guards that got a handle that can penetrate, these guys, if you look throughout the league now, these guys can dominate the game now because this is a wide open style of brand of basketball anymore. And on the one end, we're going to do the pick and roll, but you got guys who can break people down on the dribble and get it to the rack and get to the line. These are the guys that prosper in this league. And so I don't understand right now what the pick. Why are we picking number 4 on potential? I don't understand that.
RJ Hampton, it's funny. He reminds me of Zach LaVine. It's that same promise. He's going to get to the basket. He's going to score.
Oh, he's going to score. There's no doubt about that. He's going to score the basketball.
But
and that's what the Bulls need.
Denver, what they were doing, Utah picked up Azubuike, which I think is going to be a phenomenal player. That's just me. And then one of my sleeper picks that I like a lot is Malachi Flynn, who went to Toronto at 29. And I'll tell you why I like Malachi Flynn. He's a winner. He's a 6'1" point guard, so he fell that all the way down. But he is one of the fastest. They say Kiera Lewis is fast, but he is just as fast, maybe even faster, and has a good shot. See, these are the little things that I'm thinking that Bulls trust. You're trying to acquire assets. So, no, I'm coming out that 4th. I know it doesn't make sense at the moment, but it all makes sense after a while. I'm coming out the 4th. I'm trading with maybe Detroit to pick up 2 picks where I can get comparable players. I'm trading with Boston to get some multiple picks in here. I'm trading with somebody to get me some currency next season. Maybe I get in a late round first. But you decided at number 4 to pick a project. And hey, somebody say, hey, G Sizzle, there wasn't too much more to pick. I beg to differ with you. And I'm not even going to beg, J Sizzle. I'm going to differ with you and tell you there was a lot more. There was a lot more from Killian Hayes all the way to Cole Anthony. Any of those players are comparable to Patrick Williams.
Absolutely right. My whole thing about it was you could have got any of those players plus somebody else. You could have got plus somebody, and that's what the Bulls need. Bulls need plus. What do they need? They need more guards. They need more centers. They need more people who can score the basketball. That's why I go back to the same thing. You could have got D Rose here. And hang on to D Rose for the next couple of years. Bring this kid along. You still could have had this kid. You would have been in a better position. Now, because who's running your point for you now? Is it Kobe? Are we going back to Satoransky running the point for the Bulls? Because to me, the Bulls have not helped themselves. Because this guy, unless this guy has a great camp, which they're not going to have much of one, but he's not starting for the Bulls.
No, he can't. He
So-
can't. He doesn't even know enough yet. He's a 19-year-old
No.
kid.
So now when he comes out there, this ain't Kobe. I mean, even though all those guys set, but he ain't Kobe. So the question is at this point right now is that how he's not the heir apparent. My problem was at number 4. If you can't get the heir apparent, you got to get somebody who's going to make a huge difference. And right now, I don't think we see a guy who can make a huge difference because he didn't make a huge difference at Florida State.
Right.
Where did they? I mean,
and shout out to Anthony Edwards, the number 1 pick, James Wiseman, your number 2, and LaMelo Ball. Now, am I sold on any of the 3? No. But the one player that I am sold on that I think has a better upside than all of them is something you can't teach. It's something you can't create. It has to be inborn and God-given, and that's size. And so when you have a James Wiseman, listen, even at his best, he might be a serviceable rotation player. He might be JaVale McGee.
I think he's going to be better than JaVale. He'll be better than JaVale.
I think he's much better. I just think he needs to learn. It's going to take time with him. But that, to me, the move that had to be made was you had to get that 2nd round pick. Now, I understand maybe things changed after you heard, hey, one of your best shooters, Klay Thompson,
Klay going down. But they still wouldn't got Weissman though. I mean, they still had you still had the number 2 overall pick. There's a different ways you could have went at this point in time. At that point in time, I'm like, okay, we don't have a shooter, but now you got another ball player. You bring in LaMelo Ball. If you really think if Klay has torn his Achilles, which that the rumor out has that's what's happened, and that he's going to be out, and we've never seen a player come back off of Achilles and be what they were. You saw Kobe, you saw Boogie. You've seen a couple other players like that. They were shells of themselves. So maybe, we don't know. I mean, it's a new age of medicine, but it's not that long ago that Kobe has his Achilles problem.
Right.
So now, it wasn't that long ago.
And we'll have to see what Kevin Durant does.
Right. Again, I think I told you before, I think Kevin Durant is going to be Dirk Nowitzki. I think he's just going to be a jump shooting Kevin Durant. I don't think you're going to see him put the ball. That's the reason why you see them trying to go get a James Harden right now. They're trying to get a James Harden up there because they know Kevin Durant is not going to be that. They've seen him in workouts. This ain't nothing new right now. They've seen him in workouts. They know what he can do and what he can't do. Plus, he's going to be on minutes restriction. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's for another show. We can talk about that another time. But the issue is right now with the Bulls is like, did you become significantly better? And then down the line, pick number 44. Are we going to talk about that? What the hell? What was that?
We're going to talk about it in a few more minutes. You know what? I was going to wait and talk. No, we're going to wait and talk about it because there's one thing I really wanted to hammer home.
Okay.
I heard Kendall Gill say that Patrick Williams reminds him of a more refined and polished Jimmy Butler.
Oh, really?
Stop.
Really? Jimmy Butler when he got here from Marquette or Jimmy Butler now?
Go back and look at Jimmy Butler's stats at Marquette. Go back and look at him coming out of high school. Jimmy Butler was always Jimmy Butler. We just didn't know who Jimmy Butler was.
Absolutely.
Jimmy
right.
Butler had, at the time, the year he was drafted, he, I think, had the best free throw percentage shooting in the NCAA.
And he was the man. Jimmy Butler was the man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get that twisted now.
He wasn't coming off the bench. He wasn't averaging 9 points a game.
No, he was the man. He was the man there. He had pictures on the billboards when you drove down going to the stadium. He was the man. Let's get that understood. So, and you saw what a Jimmy Butler had to do to work himself to become Squire Butler today.
Yeah.
And
it all started one night in New York.
Yeah.
It all started when he decided that he would be Squire Butler to Carmelo Anthony.
Right. And so now you see a guy who will take the heart out of you, who went to battle with a Lakers team that they didn't have a chance to beat. They didn't have a chance to beat them, and Squire Butler was rallying these guys up to play. Yes. And so now and he was a former Chicago Bull. I'm like, dude.
Here's the funny part. How do you say that with a straight face? Like, he reminds me of Jimmy Butler. Oh, that's right, the player we had that we traded for no good reason. No, because we just don't want him to be the face of the franchise.
No, we were mad because everybody was having problems complaining about Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler actually wanted to win.
Right.
So now you have who on your team right now on the Bulls team? Please show anybody out there tell me who is the guy that's going to lead you in the battle on the Bulls right now?
Well, it's got to be Zach LaVine. And unfortunately, Zach LaVine keeps getting put into this position. He is not as great as he thinks he is, but you keep putting him into a greatness and leadership role. So he's got to lead because he's the best player there. Until you get a better player than Zach LaVine, you're going to be where you are.
He's not a great leader. Now we talk about a guy who can put it on the floor and up on the bounce at you and attack you. Oh, he's gonna put it to you and put it to you often. I like that about him. But he's not a leader. This is not a guy. This is not a guy who's gonna saddle you up and put you on his back because he's gonna try to shoot that fadeaway 3-point ball every once in a while that he pulls out at the end of the game. This is the reason why a solid veteran, not Otto, whatever his name is. Not Saturansky, but you actually bring in a guy who has won games for you, who has won game. And I said for you, yes, I'm talking about Derrick Rose, who won games for you, and now you can get him for the next couple of years to bring this ball club along. Because I'm thinking you still need some pieces. This team is in the same exact position that it was in last year, unless they do something in free agency I haven't heard about today.
Well, you know what? Let's get ready. We're gonna take you to the other side. We're going to go to the other side because we're going to talk about the 44th pick, and we're going to talk about what could happen if Derrick Rose came back to the Bulls.
Wow, bro. That's crazy. That's so love, bro.
All right, Jay. So let's talk about the 44th pick. The Chicago Bulls decided that they wanted to do a draft and stash. They took a player.
We're so good. We're so good and so talented that every player in the draft that we could get that actually might make our ball club, we're going to take a guy who's never going to make our ball club.
Never. I don't think he's ever going to come to America. I mean, he might come to America for a visit.
Yeah.
But that's going to be about it, my friend. You're not going to bring in a 34-year-old power forward center who's slower than all of your power forwards and centers that you have.
It made no sense. I'm like, look, at that point, get Cassius Stanley then. At that point, an actual true point guard. Get Nico Mannion. I mean, none of these are going to light your fire, but we do see a certain team that picked number 2 overall went and got Nico Mannion. They see something in him, a guy who can ball out, who can shoot it, who come from a great pedigree. You know, I guarantee you're going to see Nico Mannion make that ball club and who actually might play some for the Golden State Warriors.
So let me ask you, you're not then impressed with Marko Simanovic?
Look, the big Serb is going to be in Serbia, okay? That's what he's going to do. Most of those guys, when you start getting picked, after your 4th or 5th pick in the second round, most of these guys aren't going to make it in the league. You know, very few of these guys actually make it in the league. You got more guys who have opportunity off the waiver wires, off of G League, guys who are going to sign in on 10-day status, 10-day contracts. Those guys get opportunity to play in the league. A lot of these guys are going to end up playing overseas somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a full pro contract.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at a story the other day about Niko Mirotic and his battle back from COVID. And I thought, wow, the Bulls had something special in Nico. Like, if you had tailored the offense to him and just let Nico do Nico, because he wasn't going to defend anybody. That was not a part of his repertoire. No. But when you're talking about pure buckets on a bad team that had nothing else, if you had just let him fly and let him run, it might have worked. But he's best suited in Europe. I mean, that's where he's going to be.
However, though, this might have been your Grayson Allen. You never know. I mean, he was finding a way to get buckets at Arizona. He was finding a way to get buckets. And The Pac-10 is not a joke out there. They play good basketball out in the Pac-12.
Well, you got Laurie out the Pac-10. So you know what the Pac-10 had a player that went in the draft higher. See, the problem is there are about 5 to 6 Patrick Williams in this draft. That's without question.
Yeah.
There are guys who went all over the league who were Patrick Williams, who were more accomplished, better scorers, and capable defenders. So you're talking about another player from Arizona who loved rugby. He's Patrick Williams. I mean, these are guys that are there, and you get no second round cachet because you do a drafting stash. But as you said, you had Cassius Stanley there. You had Nico Minion. You had some guys who can come in and fill that role, because you can't tell me that Ryan Arcidiacono is better than Nico Mannion. I'm not going to believe it.
Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying. And so you do a draft and stash, a draft and trash, because he's not going to play for you at any point in time. Right. And you send him over there back to Serbia because he's good to go. He was just happy to be. Now that's going to make his cachet even be higher in Serbia because he got picked in the NBA draft. He's going to make more money over there. But you had a guy who could have possibly outplayed your Arcidiacono, you could have brought in somebody to replace him. What I'm saying to you is upgrade positions when you can upgrade positions. So that's why I'm saying you go look, Cassius Stanley, he don't play no defense. But the one thing he does really well is play the pick and roll. And he's a guy, because he's short of his size, but he's a guy who has been able to play at the high level. Michigan State's no joke basketball now. They're in the Elite Eights all the time. And this guy is one of the better players in the Big Ten. So now you look at a situation where you're possibly going to have this guy who maybe could have came in and gave you some help. You don't know. I don't know either. Maybe Cassius Stanley doesn't even get a cup of coffee in the league. But what I'm saying is, why not pick somebody that could possibly come in and help you? This guy that you picked up, the 7-foot Serbian, is probably never coming here.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to use it as some kind of trick,
trade bait somewhere down
trade bait, some trick. It's a filler in a deal. But when you have a team this bad, you don't have time for fillers. You're going to pay a Ryan Arcidiacono $3 million this season. Now he's making more than some of your draft picks. To do what? Sit on the bench?
Here's my biggest problem right now. Exactly right. Here's my biggest problem. At pick number 49, you had Isaiah Joe go, right? Isaiah Joe. You know what he is? An elite shooter. Why not take him at 44? An elite shooter.
And see, here's my thing. We're going to talk about it for a second. Everybody keeps going on about how great Denver is. Remember, Denver fell into some things. Denver was around with some stuff that happened, but we'll get into that in a second. But the great teams, and let's look at a Golden State. Let's just look at it. Who got the second pick in the draft? However they got it, God bless them. But you see what they did. The same thing that the Warriors did to the Bulls a couple of years ago and made them a laughing stock. No, it wasn't a great pick, but their second round pick came in when they played the Bulls and put the foom fops on them. He was highly motivated. What was he? A second round pick that wasn't on the Warriors the next year. But it's the fact that good teams are able to find assets and use them as they go forward through a season. Right. You're going to need somebody. I know. There's no way you can tell me that a Nico Mannion, whose father was in the league, whose father's been around the NBA and professional basketball his whole life. You can't tell me that a Ryan Arcidiacono is a better player. He's not faster, he's not stronger, and he's not a better shooter. So in that sense, when you're holding on to a Shaq Harrison, Chris Dunn's, Ryan Arcidiaconos, when you've got just a litany of hoo-ha and poo-poo, and we won't even talk about some of the old people that are still on their roster that I have no idea why they're still on there. You just mentioned one. Yeah, you can't have your point guard who really should probably be your starting small forward, but that's a whole different thing.
And the whole problem is with where'd you upgrade at? You still don't have a point guard.
Nowhere.
You still don't have a point guard,
Nowhere.
and your team is not a better shooting team at this point.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna do something, I don't know what you're gonna do. They're not paying me any money. You know, that you got some shooters coming in here. But if you got a guy who can spread the floor and can shoot the basketball for you, isn't that the one thing the Bulls didn't have last year? Isn't that the reason why Archie was actually playing all those minutes? Because he can go out there and let the ball fly. And now you had a great shooter, and I'm calling him great. Isaiah Joe can shoot. Now, if he's a little slower foot, yeah, but he can shoot the basketball. He's going to extend the floor, and then now he's going to let your bigs operate down low.
You know who your best shooters are on the team?
Who?
Zach LaVine.
Oh, no, God, no.
Lauri Markkanen.
No.
And Denzel Valentine.
No. And they just extended Denzel Valentine.
Yeah, well, you offered an extension to Denzel Valentine. Now that you brought in Patrick Williams, there's chatter about, well, you know, we can rescind that offer to Denzel. See, this is a part of the foolery that I'm talking about. And to your point, Jay, where have you gotten better? This is a comparable to the Bears. You have a great defense, but your offense is terrible. Yeah, defense may help you get to a championship, but offense wins the championship. You've got to have offensive power. So let's go to this whole question of you need a point guard. There's a point guard sitting a few hours away who's from Chicago. He was your number one pick.
He was there.
He's the man. He is outside of Michael Jordan. In the past 30 years, there's only been one other Bulls player that is the man, and that player is Derrick Rose.
And you could have had Derrick Rose and anybody else like Patrick Williams. You could have had Derrick Rose and anybody else like Patrick Williams and got rid of a ball player who shouldn't be on your ball club anyway. It's time to move Satoransky. Satoransky's still good enough to move. Because Detroit wanted to move up to that fourth spot. They wanted to move up.
Here's the thing that's so sad, Jay. Can I remind you of this? Zach LaVine, right? Your all-star wannabe, your greatest shooter, your guy.
Because can't even nobody else there.
You can't get on the all-star squad in your own city. It was in your town.
Yeah, that's bad.
You couldn't even get on then.
That's bad.
And who wants to come to the Bulls when you got what? You're telling me that Wendell Carter is your best center?
I see
undersized center?
And here's the whole issue with that. That's why I'm saying you couldn't move Zach LaVine because you need to pair him with somebody. You want to bring somebody in here that you could pair with him. You just brought in a guy who's not going to start for you. Hopefully,
at least if you say you brought in Okongwu, you can say, hey, he can replace Wendell Carter.
Yeah.
Makes him expendable.
Yeah.
I would be happy right now if you took a flyer and went and made a move. And the move I would think that somebody would be thinking about making is getting a particular player now that just got traded to Oklahoma City that was in good standing with your head coach now. See, because you got to make there's got to be something that has to change.
You could have definitely made that move. You could have made some move to get some veteran in here that still has something left in the gas tank, or bring somebody in here that was going to come in here and start. If you'd have brought Obi Toppin in here, Obi Toppin is coming in here and starting.
I don't see today. I don't see New York complaining about it. I don't see Tom Thibodeau complaining about it.
No.
In fact, I think he had to sign off on that. And they've got a glut of power forwards. They've got Randall. You got Crazy Eyes. You got all kinds of power forwards in New York right now. But they brought in Obi Toppin, somebody who can actually grow with the position and somebody who's a bucket getter. Now, he can get buckets.
He can get buckets. And then, look, can I start crying right now? Can I start crying?
Go ahead, bro.
You got Tyrese Halliburton down there to the Kings at number 12.
Right.
Tyrese Halliburton.
They're so concerned that they may lose their best player. They went and got his replacement and said, you guys can just play together.
That's the guy who's going to come in and play.
Come on, dog. That's the guy who's coming in and starting. And it's starting to look to me like some of those Bears move when you didn't go out. Now, okay, somebody will say, well, hey, G, you know, Cam Newton ain't great. I wouldn't have gotten him anyway. Oh, but contraire, Munfrere. There was Teddy Bridgewater. There were other players that the Bears could have gotten.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without
a doubt, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. You wanted to get somebody here. But again, now all of it falls on as water under the bridge, because until you repair that offensive line that has not been repaired for the Bears, nobody, I don't care if you would have brought here Joe Montana combined with Randall Cunningham and Brett Favre, it still wouldn't have worked. Favre Graham. Yes, that's his name. Favre Graham.
You know, I just don't understand it, man. I just don't understand. Why not take the best team? Why not take the best player on the on his team? Because Patrick Williams was not the best player on his team.
And that's my point is, and to everybody in the Sizzle group, everybody.
Why not take the best player on the team?
Patrick Williams is not the best player that was on the board. Not the best player. So
he
if
wasn't
you're
the best
just talking
player on
about
his team.
He's not the best player on that board. Now, if you told me he went maybe to San Antonio, if he had gone later in the draft,
where Devin Vessel went.
Yeah.
If he went down there, understandable. Look, Devin Vassell, at least you know that this guy is played. He's ready to go right now. Yeah. We don't know if this guy's ready to go because he just wants to contribute.
And the sad part is he's got to go because Otto Porter's not going to go much longer.
No, so now you got to roll this kid out here. Now, is he going to give you some effort and do some things? Look, I hope this is Scottie Pippen. I'm hoping Scottie Pippen light. I'm just hoping. We still don't have a Michael Jordan-ish type person here. You know, somebody who could help take over a game. Boy, that sure would have been nice. Like a Derrick Rose would have been nice to run out there. You know, now you got Derrick Rose run out there. Now you got Halliburton, or you got Williams out there. You could have got Halliburton still.
Look, man, at best, if he develops as a shooter, he might become Chris Middleton. Oh. But at greatest, he could become Kawhi Leonard.
Oh no, there's no way he's gonna be Kawhi Leonard.
So if you're not gonna if you can't say that comparable, because I could say with Devin Vassell, there's a way. You could think like, Devin Vassell, he can shoot, he can defend. He might be that dude. He might be, when you're looking for that new wave, or a Sadiq Bey. And I don't know why. I am big on Sadiq Bey. It's something about that kid.
Because he's a shooter.
It's something about that kid. He's strong. He's a shooter. Something about Sadiq Bey. Yeah, I don't know what. He's a shooter. But look, man, I would have even gone Tyrese Maxey. I would have gone just uber score. Because you got that already with Jacoby White. You have that already. So
and you have no dispersion to Kobe White. Absolutely no dispersion to Kobe White. He's not a point guard.
I was just going to ask you, is he a point guard? He's a two guard that should come off your bench, right?
Guard. He's a two guard. He's a two guard. He's a scorer, and he can score in bunches for you. But he's not the guy who's supposed to have a rock in his hand. You need a facilitator. This is the reason why Tyrese Halliburton might have been the guy for you, because he is willing to pass. He's going to make people better. That's what he does.
Passer in this draft.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
So now you got a situation where you let that guy slide because you went to go get a project.
Hey, let me ask you this. I mean, conspiracy theory, but we can do that.
We got enough of that. I need to put tinfoil around my head.
Yes.
That's what I need to do right now.
Okay. So here's how it's going to go. Is Kobe White the replacement for Zach LaVine?
No, how?
I don't know.
Look. Kobe
White. It's a conspiracy because it helped me feel better about myself.
No, Kobe White and Patrick Williams were buds. They're pals out of North Carolina. They know each other for a while. So, I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna try to run the two buddies in the backcourt at the same time. Because is Patrick Williams, is he your two guard?
You know what they would be really great as? This would be a great college team. This would be a great pickup summer league. This is if you were in Charlotte for pickup, yeah, you could put Kobe and Patrick Williams out there.
This is a team. If you brought everybody down to the Rucker,
yes,
you know what I'm saying. This would be the Rucker.
No, if you brought them to the Rucker, they would get run out the gym.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah, they would get run.
They're not gonna get run out the gym.
They're gonna get run off the court at the Rucker.
No,
at the Ruck. Come on. You got ballers who will come to the Rucker. Yeah. You got ballers who will come down there, and you telling me Kobe White, and
a baseball player.
Yeah, they're gonna be great. You know, it's bad when you got to change your name to make people think that you Kobe. Like, oh, is he Kobe? No, his name is Jacoby. He's Jacoby White. He's a young man with a nice grade of hair and flowing locks, and he runs real fast and does a lot of stuff real quick.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. I just, like I said, I mean, look, they got a better front office, but I expected a more solid pick that made sense.
I expected better management of this.
I just think if they wanted this guy, I don't, because he was coming up the board, but I didn't really hear somebody go, hey, Patrick, that's the guy we need to take. He could go number 2 overall. I didn't hear any of that.
You know what? Let's think about this with Denny. He made a precipitous slide. I mean, when you look at where Denny was projected and then making it to Washington, is he not as good as advertised?
I don't know.
See, okay. That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear, I don't know, because they don't know either. Nobody really knows what Denny is, because probably this is about where he should be. He should have been somewhere between 10 and 15. Now, I'll give it that.
I'm going to tell you what. Here's the thing about it. I thought that's what they were getting ready to go do. But now this guy, Denny Avdija, was the best player in his league.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Was the best player in his league. Is a scorer of the basketball. He's that guy. Now, would I've been happy if they'd have pulled that off? No. Would I have been more happier than what I got going on right now? Yes. Because the guy has proven himself that he can score the basketball. You have a guy right now who, and I still harp back to it, I don't care what nobody else says, this guy was not the best player on his own team.
No. I think that Tyrese Halliburton thing is going to come back to bite you. I know Kierra Lewis looks good for the Kings, but if they had an opportunity and they should have moved up to get that Kings pick, Tyrese Halliburton in New Orleans, it would have been. It would have been monstrous.
Oh, yeah, because now you got a facilitator of the basketball. Now you got the other Ball brother who's nasty but needs some help, right? And now you have a guy who can actually distribute the basketball. And that's all they really need, because they're a running ball club.
Yeah, and he's your CJ McCollum, and that works that way.
Yeah. Now, as long as Zion can stay healthy, and that's the if on that one.
And he's got to lose weight. He's going to have to lose
weight. He's gonna have to do a Derrick Rose. See, this is what these guys have to understand, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna have to do a Derrick Rose. He's gonna have to calm his game down and just not try to explode out the gym every time he goes up. He is massively strong. When I say massively strong, I saw him move NBA centers on a back down on a crab and move guys like I went, wow.
Great.
This guy is massively strong. So he's going to have to pick his points when he's going to explode on people. He's going to have to, just like Derrick Rose does now. If Derrick Rose would have played this type of game when he first came into the league and just was not so hurt, because Derrick Rose hurt himself. That's just, he blew both his knees out. He blew out both his tires, because he was so herky-jerky, so violent when he made these moves that Derrick Rose was too good for his own good.
And have you seen his body now?
Yeah. Oh,
See,
yeah.
people aren't looking at the transformation. Derrick Rose is half his size now.
Yeah.
Because
He slimmed down.
he's slim and it's sleek. It's not the muscular.
No.
He's sleek now.
He was too much body for his own good.
Right.
He was too much of an athlete for his own good. Had he been a lesser athlete, he wouldn't have hurt himself. But he was just too doggone strong.
You know, he came to the church once. Not once, but he came a couple of times. And when I met Derrick Rose, I remember thinking, this boy's built like a linebacker. Like there was no basketball player look. That body was a football player. You looked at him and you were just like, and only LeBron James is the only other player I've seen that so chiseled where you just think Dwight Howard and all of you look at him and you're saying, what do you have to do to your game to change it to survive moving forward? And I hope they survive moving forward.
And the thing about it is, Derrick Rose is not 5'8". Some of you guys out there think Derrick Rose is a little bitty dude. Derrick Rose is not a little bitty dude.
Not at all.
You know, he's all 6'1", 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
You know, and maybe even more than that. But Derrick Rose is a big guy. When you walk, if you see Derrick Rose walking up in front of you, Derrick Rose is a formidable individual. Don't get it twisted now. That's a muscular, strong, quick man. And that's not a little guy right there. And he can move exceptionally fast. And so you have a guy like that, and now you could bring a guy like that, even though he's in the twilight of his career. And look, I don't think anybody believes right now the Bulls are in any way positioned that they're going to compete in the East.
Yeah, but do you think the Bulls are afraid to take him? Do you think they really are?
Well, I just think, I think what happens is they probably don't want to break out retreads. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what part of it was. But my whole thing was that you could have got the guy that you wanted or somebody comparable to him and brought in some veteran help, and that would have actually brought in a leader into your group and possibly forced you to move some guys around. Because right now you got too many guys out here who are just, it's just too much cookies and milk going on right here. You need some guys that are going to come in here and battle. You need some guys who are going to get upset. You need a Jimmy Butler type here at Chicago. We know that Zach LaVine was trying to be that guy, but he's not really that guy. He's not super fiery like that. But we knew that Squire Butler was going to try to literally tear your heart out. Literally, that's what he was going to try to do. And that's what the problem. That's the reason why Tom Thibodeau loved him so much, because he knew Squire Butler. Because here's the thing, Tom Thibodeau. People talk stuff about Tom Thibodeau. There's a reason why he played seven players on the team. You know why he only played 7 players on the team? Because he only had 7 players. And Tom Thibodeau refused to play people who are not NBA ready. And right now, that's what the Bulls should do, is refuse to play people who are not NBA ready. This team should be a boatload of NBA ready players, because we found out now that if you have a team of dogs out here, we looked at Denver. If you have a team of dogs out here that are willing to fight, they got a chance out here. That's why you see all these players right now trying to suit up. You see James Harden running out of there. You see Westbrook running out of there. Why? Because they know they couldn't win, because they don't have enough dogs on their team right now. So it's now let's see what happens. I know we're going to talk about this later on in the show. But now if Klay is gone, what will the Golden State Warriors, are they going to go after a name up there?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about people doing their job.
Everyone has to do their job. Do your job.
So I like Tom Thibodeau, and I like his style. I think the Bulls are a little bit scared of a D-Rose reunion. But here's the thing. Here's good news for Bulls fans. After 2021, the books get really clear. And maybe the Bulls are running this out just to get some clear books. And maybe your first dog is Patrick Williams. We hope he can be that. In best case scenario, that's what I'm hoping he can be. Maybe Kobe will be that. So that's your starting point. You already think Wendell Carter is that. Yeah, it's even hard to feign. This is foolish. See, I don't get paid to say they're good when they're not. I can't do it. But to your point, Jay, does a Golden State, see, here's a funny one. does a Golden State say, look, we're going to need somebody else? Because they've got a player, but does a Golden State come after Zach LaVine and start making some moves and start talking some things with you about picks and some other stuff?
They're going to have to do something, man, because Klay, I think Klay is gone for the year. You know, and we might not see Klay come back again. You know, I hate to say it, but, you know, we knew that this team with Weissman coming in and they were going to do a little maneuvering up there, that they were going to be battling in the West again.
Right.
I don't know if Stephen Curry is enough without Klay Thompson. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know if he's enough. I think they can run too many people at him and force him to give up the basketball, or force him and wear him down for 3 quarters and just have him gassed by the 4th quarter, and he's not able to do. And plus, you know, he's an aging basketball player too. So right. it's a possibility that you do see Golden State try to make some moves, or you might see Golden State start rebuilding for the future. You know, if Klay is gone, they don't have enough to get it done. And now it's championship or bust for any of these teams right now. You know, so it's like I don't know. I mean, you know, you got the Fred VanVleets out there, you got Joe Harris out there, you got a number of guys out there right now that who are you going to try to bring in? You know what I'm saying? Who are you going to try to bring in? And who are the Bulls looking at? We haven't heard anything else about what the Bulls are really talking about. So this is going to be a crazy free agent side, because this has to go real quick.
Yeah. So I know we're going to talk about it more in some upcoming episodes. We're getting ready to bring this episode to a close, but I think the Bulls want to keep their books clean. So I don't think they're going to be making any moves, because one of the names I think that would be a natural transition would be Grant. I mean, it's Horace Grant's nephew, but you don't want to clog up that 3 position, but would be a good person. But then you just drafted a boy who's supposed to be Jeremy Grant. So, okay, forget it. I guess all that makes no sense. Yeah. All you got to do is just do your job.
Everyone has to do their job. Do your job.
All right, Jay. So we got to do our job, and you've got to tell the people. You've got to leave the people with something hot. Leave the people with something.
Look, man, there comes a time in every man's life where you just have to realize that if you're standing over the commode, you just can't go hands-free. Sometimes, you know, you got to, or you're going to be, you know, just come to a point. So that's all I got to say about that.
All right. Well, you know, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
It's a public service enough, especially if you got wives at home. All right. You know?
Yes. Because I was about to say, what about for our ladies, our listeners who don't stand up over the commode?
But look, dude, you got to make sure you're going to be having cleaner products everywhere. You know, the older you get, your vision becomes worse, and so does your aim. Yeah. Have sanitizer wipes everywhere. It's like you know, I was like, hey, come on now, let's do what we need to do here right now, because you don't want to have to go and break out, the guy with the bald head, Mr. Clean, out every time you go to the bathroom.
Well, I do. I break him out all the time. I take him with me in the little container. Say, Mr. Clean, is you and me in here, and we're gonna. You know what we do. You know what I do.
The tiny bowl man.
Every day I walk out the door, I say to myself, let me go out here and fight crime, one sucker at a time. That's what I do. You know what's bad? You know what's bad? It's bad when you get to be an older guy and you start planning your trips around the bathroom. Like, okay, they got a good bathroom. You know, it's bad when you know who has the better bathrooms. That's when you know you're getting older. You got to get to that good bathroom. You're like, oh, now that gas station there, they got 2 stalls in there. We'd be all right. We'll maybe 2 or 3 stalls, but some of these gas stations you go in, like Luke's, only got 1 stall in there, and they lock the door. Well, if you're an older guy who had to jump out of his car and you got 3/4 of a tank of gas, you stop at the gas station, you ain't stopping there because you want some cookies. You stopping there because you got to go to the bathroom. And you always get that one guy. What are they doing in the bathroom all the time? What are they doing? I don't know. And it's a public service announcement to those at Speedway. There are very few speedways that have modernized their bathrooms.
Yeah.
But most of them are still the one stall is the urinal and the commode in one. Look, dog, I'm gonna need you to come out of there, and I'm gonna need you at Speedway to clean that joint. I'm gonna need it clean.
Would you?
Just wipe it down once. Just one wipe. Just
because I'm at the point now. I go in with my mask and a hazmat suit. I'm more worried about the bathrooms in there than I am out here about the stuff. I mean, so
I have to call in some kind of crew. So that's when you find out how much wilderness you got into you.
Yeah, hey, you know what's funny though? I know we're about to go, but you as an older guy, you gauge your distance about how far you have to drive to when the last time you went to the bathroom.
Right.
It's like, ooh, I got to go past 20 minutes.
Have you ever had one of those ones that creeps up on you? Like you thought you got it all out, but then there was some in there and you didn't know it was there. And then you're like,
and then you hit that, and you hit that I-80 traffic right there at the right when you come across the border. All of a sudden it goes, because people down around I-65 have no idea how to stay in between the yellow lines and the white lines, and they just crash. It's just amazing. Did you see that thing? I mean, I know, guys, we're talking about for you guys who don't live in the area, but I-80 is one of the most traveled truck corridors in the country, right in this way around Michigan, around Lake Michigan. They had a fire out here recently that was setting cars on fire on the expressway. This is what we have to deal with.
I was on 65 last night coming around the bridge, and there was a car turned facing the median. So please, guys, be careful out there, especially 90-94, the crossroads of America. Everybody who goes through America from north to west to south to east, you have to come through 90-94. Just be careful out there. And remember, if you got to go to the bathroom, you might need to carry a cup.
Dude, hey, and all you guys out there, because the dollar sweet teas are $1 at McDonald's, and you just gonna be big and bad and bold.
Don't do it, dog.
Okay, all right, okay, go on with your bad self. See how this is gonna work out for you. You're not 25 anymore, sir. You're well over 55, and it don't work out that anymore. Look, when you watch prostate commercials and you go, that sounds like some of the symptoms I have. I know. And as Tony Kornheiser says, I love it. I'm just becoming a curmudgeon old man.
You know what it is. You know who it is. It's the Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. I'm G Sizzle. He's J Sizzle. And remember, if you got to tinkle when you sprinkle, then you have no sizzle. But if you're all strong and you can do it all night long, then you're all sizzly, baby. And we'll catch you on the other side.
Did you know that you can listen to Iron Skillet Radio on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor? It's easy. Look for Iron Skillet Sports or #Skillet_sports for our latest episodes. We are Iron Skillet Sports.